What's going on, everybody? TaylorMade Hoops live and direct at Hillcrest High School in North Dallas, Texas, baby. We're in the north side. All right, today I have a very, very special guest. Go ahead and let everybody know who TaylorMade Hoops have the pleasure of speaking with.
Kelan Jones, the head boys coach at Hillcrest High School.
All right, man. I always tease you about this, man, and everybody want to know this, man, because you came over here, man, and I mean, you have set the district and the state on fire, man, with the great job you're doing. But what everybody want to know, man, what is the Hillcrest Hustle? I know you always mention Hillcrest Hustle, and I see it sometimes on social media. I even see you with a shirt that got Hillcrest Hustle on. So what exactly, man, is Hillcrest Hustle, man?
Well, the Hillcrest Hustle is we score, we defend,
Okay.
we play hard on both ends. We're 94 by 50 with it, so I believe in playing this game, man, you hustle. It's nonstop. You know, we always use the term hustle, hustle, hustle. Hustle on the court, hustle off the court. Hustle, do anything that we're doing. We hustling to the weight room, we hustling to the track. So that Hillcrest hustle is a mindset that we're putting in our guys, man, to continue to hustle, to play hard and play together.
Okay. I like that, man. I like that. All right, well, let me ask this, Coach. How many years have you been coaching, Coach Jones?
This is my 21st year coaching.
Okay. How many years have you been the head coach here at Hillcrest?
This is my second year here at Hillcrest.
Okay. Well, let me ask this, Coach. Kind of give us a background of your coaching journey. You know, where did you start? And I know I'm a kind of cheat a little bit. I know that you've been blessed to coach on both sides, the girls and boys. So go ahead and kind of give us your journey, Coach, for people who don't know.
Well, I started out in middle school at O'Banion Middle School in Garland. That's where I first started coaching.
Okay.
So I coached there for about 7 to 8 years in middle school. And so I know what it's like to be a middle school coach and to help out. I was the assistant with Coach Tony Malder with Lakeview Centennial High School. We went to state back in 2010, 2011, back to back, and I was fortunate to be an assistant. And I was a feeder school, so I was the feeder pattern to Lakeview. So I left there and went to Sunset High School, got the head girls coaching job. Coached there for several years, 5 to 6 years. Was fortunate again to coach some very good young ladies, Lamisha Madden and Mercy Blanco, who ended up getting the first Division I scholarship as a Hispanic female from Dallas. So we've had some good players from that. I left from there, went to South Oak Cliff High School. Was there for the past 5 years, coaching the girls program at South Oak Cliff High School. And had a good turnaround. Went through some bumps, so we had to be relocated, and so we left from SOC and went to Village Fair and went back to SOC. But in between those times, we still had successful seasons. I had girls that were dedicated and committed, so I enjoyed my stint at South Oak Cliff High School. So now I'm here. I'm here at Hillcrest. This is my second year at Hillcrest, so we're looking forward to a good season.
Well, let me ask this, Coach, man, just elaborate on what you said. So, do you have any preference of which one? I know obviously you're just a basketball coach. Do you have any preference between the girls and boys? Because I know I heard a lot of people say, fortunately, coach, oh man, I couldn't coach girls. I heard sometimes girl coaches, man, I couldn't coach guys, what have you. So, any preference to you, Coach?
No, like I always say, I don't coach gender. I coach basketball.
Okay.
And one thing about the girls program, it forces you to coach.
Okay.
You don't have the athleticism as boys do, so a lot of things, the tempo is different, the speed is different. And so, you really have to coach the game when you're coaching girls. When you're coaching boys, it's a little bit more excitement, it's a little bit more, it's up, fast pace. And so there's a difference, but I love it the same. Basketball is basketball, so whether I'm coaching youth, whether I'm coaching girls, boys, or, it doesn't matter to me. I'm a coach the same way.
All right, what you said, Coach? What you say? Okay, Chris, a wheelchair league, Coach.
No difference. No difference. So pick with the wheelchair. Yes, sir. Hustle. Yes, sir.
All right, Coach. Well, let me ask this, Coach. Who or what influenced you to want to have a career in coaching?
My father.
Okay.
My father was a coach in the early 70s, and he didn't coach high school, but he did coach youth sports and and was the coach for the Y leagues for us growing up. And he was my first coach. My father was a disciplinarian. My father was a hard worker. And so my father, the things that I do for my program now, a lot of it comes from my father. He would feed the boys, pick them up, take them home, whatever they needed. So I watched my father do the things that I'm currently doing. So those were some of the traits and characteristics that I picked up. And along with him being a great coach, he knew the game, he coached us hard, and I was no exception by being his son. And I appreciated that. I didn't understand it then, but I appreciate it now, that he never talked basketball outside of basketball. He was then dad.
Okay.
If I got in the car, he didn't keep it going.
Okay.
When practice was over, it stopped right there. And so I learned some of those things now. So when practice is over with or the game is over with, I make sure I don't carry it on to our boys later on in the locker room or whatever we're doing something else. So my father was my biggest influence and still is. I have his picture on my wall right now in the office. And so, I really want to pray for my dad. He just suffered a stroke yesterday. Okay. So we keep my dad in prayers, but he's my biggest influence.
Oh man, and Coach, but I like how you said that, man. Just elaborate on that. How a lot of times us as coaches, we take stuff home. Whether we take stuff home, from the games, whether it be from our spouse or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So definitely appreciate, Coach. You understanding that, man. Let me ask this, Coach. What are your expectations and goals for this year's team, Coach?
Well, expectations are always to be better than we were last year. I expect us to be better. We're growing, we're learning, and we're steady moving forward. But realistic goals is first and foremost win district. That's the first goal. We want to win district. We definitely want to make the playoffs, and then we want to make a run to state. Whether we get there or not is totally up to us. But I'm a realist, and we got to start with first things first. Let's reach our short-term goals, and then we'll get our long-term goals after that. But look forward to us moving. Go a little bit further than we did last year. Last year, we lost first round. I expect us to go a little bit further this year, all because we now have the experience. Mm-hmm. The boys have been with me for one complete year. They know my level of expectation. They know what I'm looking for and what I want. So they're working hard. I got a good, hard-working group who they're all bought in. So I'm very appreciative to that.
Oh, no, I'm gonna say too, Coach, man. Just to piggyback on what you said, Coach, that last year, Coach, you coming in your first year, Coach, you got to kind of lay down, your philosophy, and they got to know how, what's expected of them, the do's and don'ts from Coach Jones. So now, ain't no excuse, Coach. They know what to expect from Coach Jones.
Absolutely.
They make it a little bit easier. Yeah. But I'm gonna piggyback on this, Coach. We talked about this earlier, man, Coach. That district you're in, man, is pretty tough, Coach. So like you said, Coach, man, the first goal, man, is to get one of the playoff spots, which to be honest, Coach, is not gonna be easy, Coach.
That's right.
It's gonna be pretty tough, man. Go ahead and elaborate a little bit, Coach, man, for the people that's watching that don't know. I know that who's out in that tough district, Coach?
We have, of course, we've got Kimball. Okay. Who we lost to first round. Then we have South Oak Cliff High School. Woo. Woodrow Wilson. Woo. W.T. White. Woo. And so we're there's only 4 spots.
Somebody's gonna be at home, Coach.
Somebody's gonna be at home, and I don't plan on it being us.
I heard that. Well, Coach, man, I'm not gonna hold you up, Coach. Let me ask this, Coach. You spoke of your goals and expectations for the season. Who are some key players that you feel will have a role or a big impact in your team's success this year, Coach?
I think it always starts up front. You got to have good guard play.
Yes.
And so whenever you got good guard play, you have an opportunity. And that starts with Mike Williams being our point guard. Mike is our point guard. He's played every game last year. He's tough as nails. He led us with 85 steals, second leader in rebounding on the team. And that's coming from a guard. Yeah. But it starts with our guard play. And then we got King Grace. And so we got a good 2 guard. We got King Grace that's someone that can play 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever you need him to play at, he can do it. He can score the ball, he can shoot the basketball, he can score at all 3 levels. His defense paralysis is now picking up. He's getting to the point to where he's loving to play defense. So that's a good thing. And then we turn around and we have Trey Mergerson. We have a 6'5", Trey Mergerson's long, left-handed young man that can shoot the ball very well, who's getting comfortable. He came from us from another school beginning of the year, so I'm looking forward to see what he's going to bring us. Of course, we have, Jed Nansha. Jed, 6'8", 6'9", sophomore, strong as a bull, very vocal, one of our captains, and he's earned that right. He's vocal, great teammate, excellent teammate, good to be around. So we have a couple of guys that we can lean on when times get tough. There's no one player. We have Big Israel Nasha in the middle. Big E is big 6'9", 6'10". He and Jed are brothers. And so, I have a couple guys. We have Nate McAdory, who can help push the basketball, a quick shot, facilitator, scorer. Cade Vance, young, he's a junior, strong boy. He's gonna put that pressure on the ball. He's gonna put that pressure on the ball. He's gonna force you to handle the rock. So overall, I can't say one person. It's about team for me. And when you try to plan for one person, you're already beat when you come to play Hillcrest. So you're gonna have to play us, and we're ready to play, and we look forward to playing in the district that we're in. We have a very tough preseason schedule, tough schedule period, and I structured it that way because I know what we're gonna face in district, so I want to get us prepared for it.
Oh yeah, man. Well, man, one thing I can tell you, Coach, man, I was really impressed with, man, the 4 players I was able to interview today that you had. Coach, other than them just being, I'm not just saying this, Coach, by them just, other than them being just great young men, seem to be, good guys to be around. If I was a coach, I just love to be, in the locker room with them because it seems like they work hard, they coachable, but they fun loving. But one thing about it is, I call them the quiet assassins, Coach. They cool, what have you. When they get on their court, Coach, they some killers, Coach. They off the court, Coach, I'm talking with their head, Coach, but on their court, Coach, they some killers. But another thing I was really impressed with, Coach, was just their mental fortitude, their ability to think. You got some very intellectual guys, like I asked. I asked, like, Jed, what do you want to do outside of basketball? He used to talk about, want to get his degree in chemistry. Start speaking of things, man. And I was talking to Trey, man. I mean, Trey was the same way, was the same way. Same thing with King and Mike. One thing I was impressed with, with Trey, I asked the question that I always ask the kids, if you had the choice between, $10 million in cash, $50,000 for life, or 10,000 shares in stock, each one of the kids told me something different, Coach, which I have never got. Most of the time, the kids, say, Coach, $50,000, whatever. But it was like, one of them said $50,000. They explained to me why. But the thing I was impressed with Big Jed, he was the only one that said, he said, Coach, I take 10,000 shares in stock. I said, why? He said, man, well, with social media and stuff like that, man, he said, Coach, don't tell how much they would be. That was real interesting coming from a kid, 15, 16 years old, Coach. Seriously, Coach, I'm like, the shares in stock? And then, like you say, even with Trey saying that, Coach, he was like, well, he'll take $10 million, but it wasn't what you would expect. Like, okay, I'm gonna take $10 million just to blow it. He's his mental fortitude, Coach. He's like, hey, I get $10 million because with that, Coach, I can take 2 and take care of my family, whatever. I still have 8. I can invest and do some other stuff. So I was just impressed, man, Coach, seriously, with just where you're thinking, because that's what's gonna help your life, man.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna help him on the court.
Coach. And we have each and every one of them, and I truly mean this. Each and every one of them are scholars. They are, Coach. They take academics very seriously. We rarely have an academic problem, but it's all because it's an expectation here as well. We have mandatory tutorials. It's non-negotiable. You have tutorials in, you're not touching the court. But it's not tutorials for them to catch up. It's tutorials for them to have a better understanding and to stay on top of their grades, because they all understand what's expected of them going forward in college. And you can be offered a scholarship, but can you receive the scholarship? Those are the 2 different things. You have to understand the sliding scale of your SAT, ACT, GPA, and things like that. So I try to make sure that our young men have a very high GPA. So it doesn't matter about the ACT or SAT score, that their GPA is here and they're still able to receive that same scholarship. So they're all academically scholars, and I'm blessed that we have young men that embrace the classroom just as much as they do, the weight room or the gym. So we have a good group of kids, and they genuinely like each other. They have fun. They're always around each other. You always see them together. And they're gym rats, and their personalities are infectious. And they're a good group of kids, man. So we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, Coach, I ain't gonna hold you up, Coach. Hey man, I just want to tell everybody, man, Coach Jones is one of TaylorMade Hoops' biggest fans and supporters, man.
Appreciate it.
So, man, Coach, man, we know some of the same people. We come from the same club, Coach.
Yeah.
So you know how we rock, Coach. I
Yes,
support
sir.
Coach who supports me.
That's right.
And because let's be honest, Coach, man, I'm small time, Coach,
Yeah.
but seriously, I get coaches, get on, hey, Coach, man, you don't come to my school, or hey, you don't do this,
Right.
do that, whatever. And or sometimes they even try to say, Coach, that I'm biased, towards this coach, that coach, what have you, or school, what have you. What I tell them is, no, I'm not. Coach, I'm big on relationships, Coach.
That's right.
I go on, guys I got relationships with. That's who I'm going to try to reach out to and try to help first. The guys I have relationships with, even though I want to help, all kids, everybody.
Right.
But
Right.
of course, if I have a preference, I'm gonna come, because you support me.
Yes, sir.
Or whoever may be, man. So I want to. I always say, Coach, I appreciate you letting me come to your house, Coach, because
Yes, sir.
you don't have to you don't have to invite me. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
you inviting me, Coach, and showing me hospitality.
Yes, sir.
Good luck on the season, Coach.
Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate everything that you're doing, everything you have done over the years. You've helped a lot of people. You give the good eye perspective on prospects. You're truthful and you're honest, and that's what I appreciate. And your evaluations are always spot on. So I appreciate you for coming and even wanting to talk to our guys and speak with me. And our doors are always welcome for you and TaylorMade Hoops. And I highly recommend that people subscribe and get with TaylorMade Hoops for the evaluations.
Oh yeah, Coach, I most definitely appreciate that. And that's one thing, Coach, that I appreciate you saying. It means a lot to me that you say, Coach, that I am, truthful, Coach. I don't try to get caught in the politics and stuff
Right.
like that, Coach, man. If a kid can play, he can play.
Yeah.
Coach Love's a good friend of mine,
Yeah.
man. So I tease him all the time. Hey, if I go to a game, man, he got a kid out there and I'm watching the kid can't play, Coach. Hey, even though your boy, I ain't
right.
right nothing,
Yeah,
Coach. I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you, man, he's sorry, Coach.
Yeah.
You know how we roll, Coach. That dude is sorry, He might need to go brush some track, in football field. So but I'm just honest, Coach. Just like if you told me one of your kids, I was like, I'm like, hey, kid, man, hey, kid, good kid, man, good kid, Coach, man, how's he in academics?
Right. You do something different.
Do something different, man. I ain't gonna hold you up, Coach Joe.
Yes, sir.
One last time, go ahead and let everybody know who the TaylorMade Hoops have the pleasure of speaking with, man.
Kelan Jones, Hillcrest High School, home of that Hillcrest hustle, man. Y'all can check us out this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.